Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. In today's video, I'm going to explain how to send emails from SPFx webpart using Microsoft Graph API. Now let's get into the video. So here you can see I'm running the SPFx webpart locally in the workbench. Let me preview this one. And this SPFx webpart will allow us to provide the to address CC and subject body. And when we are clicking the send email, it will send the email to the persons we selected in these two and CC fields using Microsoft Graph API. And here I have provided the limitations like we can select up to 5 users over here. Only users, not the groups. So let me provide the new address. So I'm choosing the like persons who are present in the organization. Yes, I'm providing test email. So body also I will provide like this. Let's click on the send email. So here you can see an alert came telling that email sent successfully. And when I open the Outlook, you can able to see. So we received this email address, and here only we can see to whom it sent and CC also the subject and body came whatever I have provided in this SPFX web part. So recently we are also using the PnP SP functions to send the email. So now those are deprecated, so we cannot use those methods. So here you can see this is the send email method from the @pnp/sp utilities. So they have mentioned this one, it was deprecated, and they are only telling like please migrate to this graph module for sending emails. So in this video I am explaining how we can send the emails using the Microsoft Graph API. And this one was deprecated on the last 2 months before only. So here you can see on the October 31st, 2025, they have deprecated this method to send the emails. So you can go through this one. I will also provide these links. You can check out this one. Now we will see how we can create SPFX web part that will send emails using the Graph API. And before discuss about the code, let's first understand to send the emails what are the functions we are using from the Microsoft Graph API and how we can use the Microsoft Graph API into our SPFX web part. So here you can see there is a send email method is there from the Microsoft Graph. So using this only we are sending the emails, and the permissions required for using the send email is mail.send. So whenever we deployed our SPFX solution, in the manage apps, when you click on the API access, you can able to come to this one. So for this Microsoft Graph, it is requiring mail.send. So that is what present here, the mail.send. So when we have to provide access, then only emails will send to the person using the graph. And within the SPFX solution, this is the HTTP request we are using for sending the email. So if you want to send emails on behalf of you, like for example, so here you can see the mail is coming on Patty Fernandez, right? So it means this currently logged in user is sending the email. So in that case, you can use the first one. In case if you don't want your name, you want to specify any particular user email, for example, do not reply, that kind of things. You can use that one and provide your email address, and you can use the send email. So the send email is the HTTP request which is sending the emails. You can go through this one how they have used this send email method in SPFX web part. And let's see the another one, how we can use the Microsoft Graph API in our SPFX web part. So here you can see there is a consume Microsoft Graph. Here they have mentioned how we can use. So from the Microsoft Graph, we can either use this AAD HTTP client object or Microsoft Graph client v3 client object. So there is a small difference between these two. So when we can use this AAD HTTP client one is to perform any external kind of calling things, we can use this one. And for Microsoft Graph, we can use this MS Graph Client v3. So to use this one, we need to create one context using this Microsoft Graph Client factory. From that, this get client will retrieve the version 3 client object. And for this one, we have to provide our API calls. Now let's see the code. I created this SPFx web part using the React framework. I hope by this time you know how to create the SPFx web part using React framework. In the .tsx file only, I have written all the code which is displaying in this SPFx web part. So whatever rendering here, all those code I have written in that .tsx file. And before we discuss this one, let's first see what are the permissions we have required. We have discussed, right? While deploying, we need to mention some Microsoft Graph API permissions. So where we have to provide is in under this configuration folder, you can see package-solution.json file is there. When we click on this one, I have provided this one. After this is domain isolated. You can also provide after this one also. So I mentioned here. So what we need to provide web API permission requests. Within this, we need to provide the permissions what we required for performing send email actions. So the resource is Microsoft Graph and the scope we are expecting is mail.send. So these permissions we required. So whenever we are deploying this solution, as I shown previously in the tenant app catalog, if we go to the API access in the SharePoint admin center, it will open this one. So here you can able to see I already gave permission, that's why it is under the approved request. So whenever you are deploying the first time, so that permissions will come here. You can just click on this one, you can able to see the approve, right? When you click this one, it will come under the approve request, and then you can able to easily use that send email functionality. Now come to this .tsx file. So at starting, I have imported this I people picker context and people picker this one. Here in the SPFX web part, we are using this people picker, right? So for that one, I used the PnP React SPFX controls, and then I created a state which is tracking the email and CC email subject and email body. So whatever we entered in that form, these states will store, and while sending the email using these states only we are sending. So within the class, under the constructor, I initialized these states with the empty values. So this to email and CC email, I took array of the strings because we can we are allowing the user to send email to multiple users. So this might be a array, right? So for that reason only, I took the data type as a array. And then let's go to the render method. So whenever we are using the people picker control, we have to provide the context. So for this context, so why we are using this context? Whenever we are searching the username, it needs to search whether this particular user is present in the current SharePoint site and also in the group. So the Microsoft Graph will retrieve those users. Perform all these actions, I created the context for the people picker context. So here you can see I also imported that one. This is very important for using this people picker control. Now within this context, you can see absolute URI is there, SPHTTP client is there, and Microsoft Graph client factory is there. Now, so for this one, we no need to install anything because this is the basic one. Let me show you the .ts file. There is a base client side web part is there, right? From this only we can retrieve the Microsoft Graph client so here for that one, we have taken the Microsoft Graph client factory. So for this dot props dot context, we are taking the MS Graph client factory, and for SP HTTP client, from that context only we are retrieving. And for absolute URL, from the props only we are retrieving the absolute URL. And for after that context, we have this person selection limit. For this one, we are allowing how many users this control needs to allow. For example, I gave 5 only, so I can able to type up to 5 members. Beyond that one, I cannot type. So you can increase this number and decrease based on your requirement. And then principal types, I have chosen the principal type dot users so that it will allow only the users, not the groups. So while in case if you want to send the emails not only for the users also the groups, then remove this user and provide the all. and resolve delay. So this property is defining like how much time it will take to search that user. So if I search for some name, so it will take 500, like a half of the second to retrieve that particular user. And whenever we are adding one user and deleting, this onChange property will trigger, and on that time we are calling this get people picker items method. So here let's see that method. Here what I was doing, I'm retrieving all the items, so whatever the users I have entered in that people picker. And then for the field, I'm provided two email and CC email. So why I have given like this? If you see for the people picker and the CC and also same in the two address, in both cases we are using the people picker control, and in both cases we are calling this get people picker. So for the items, whatever the people we have selected, all those we are passing through these items, and two email represent we are sending from the two, and CC email represent we are sending from the CC field. So after sending both the things, so whenever we enter this one, this will call this get people picker control with these items and two email. So whenever we providing that time, this will call with the selected CC members and CC email it is providing. So same method is working for both the things. And here using the emails, you can see I have used the map method. It will iterate over each the items, whatever the items are there, it will iterate over each item, and it will retrieve the email address from that users selection of the users. So secondary text is retrieving the email address, and here if that field is triple equal to two emails, so here we are checking if the field, whenever we entered the two email, like we selected the emails, that time two email will come. And in that case we created the state to email, right? Into this array we are sending all the emails. So now this emails is containing the emails from these items, right? Same if it is not the two email, like then that case we have entered the peoples in the CC field. So that time this condition will trigger and it will update all the emails into this CC email array. So after this one, you can see there is a subject and body is there. So here we are directly updating whatever the value we entered the subject into this email subject state. And here also that body we are entering using the set state method. This email body state also updated. So whatever we entered that will be present in these two states. And in the primary button, which is the send email, in the on click we are calling send email using graph. So here is the method which is sending the emails to the particular users using the Microsoft Graph API. So at starting, I have retrieved all the states in this format. So you can see that two emails is email subject and body, all we have retrieved. And at starting only we are checking whether if we haven't provided any particular person for the two email. So if we haven't provided, we are showing the email, showing an alert like please select at least one recipient. And then we are, before sending the email, we are making the mail payload. So here for the message, the subject I have assigned as the email subject, and for the body we are taking in the HTML format, and content is the email body. So whatever the email body we entered, that one we are passing to this content. And then two recipients, CC recipients are there, right? For that one, two email is containing an array. So for the array, we are adding the map, and we are iterating over each item, and the email address we are passing address dot email. So within this array, whatever the email is there, for example, five members I have chosen. For the first email, it will take, and again it will iterate and take the second person email, like, and then third person email, like that it will take. Same for the CC recipients. And after once it is ready, say to sent items we updated to true, so it will send the email, so it means it is ready. Now in the I created one client. In that client I took the MS Graph Client Factory v3. For this Microsoft Graph Client Factory dot client of get client method is there, and that is taking the version 3. Now we have this formula is giving the Microsoft Graph Client v3 object. So that using that one we are using the API, and the API we have discussed previously. So this is the one, right? Me slash send email using the post method. So in the API I have provide slash me and then slash send email. We are using the post method, and for the post mail payload, whatever we have created, all we have already written, right? That one I have given. So this one line will send the email. After sending, we are getting the alert as a email sent successfully. In case if we face any issues, then this alert in the catch block, we are showing another alert email sending using like error we got. And in the console also, we are displaying that whatever error it came. Once it is sent, it will reset the form with the empty values. I hope you understand how to send emails using Microsoft Graph API through the SPFx web portal. And thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe our channel.